All right, y'all, welcome back to Healing University. I am Black Angel, and we are starting the first part of the energetic healing. Okay, this is the first part that's going to be associated with scanning. Okay, scanning is going to be dealing with basically trying to figure out what is going on with your client, with the person that you are doing the healing on. That also will also be associated when you're doing your own healing and doing your own scanning to figure out what it is and why you are feeling what you are feeling. Okay. So behind me is just a picture of an aura. If you look on the side where it says before, it's just showing what the aura looks like when it's damaged, when it's unhealed, when there's cords and attachments. And then the after is showing basically what the aura should look like once all those cords and attachments are removed and that you're back to feeling your normal self. So when scanning, right, you're going to be scanning the aura itself. And when you look at this background here, the spots where you see missing or holes in your aura, that's pretty much what you should be feeling on your body as you do your scan. Sometimes we do scans with the physical body, and sometimes we do scans using our hand, where we will go up and down the aura looking for spots in the aura where there may be some holes in the aura, or where there may be some extra energies that kind of, sticks out to the hand that brings extra tingling and feelings. And we'll definitely be practicing that today, okay? So for today's class, we wanna make sure we have some water on hand, because anytime we do any type of scanning or energy work, water helps to move energy through the body. So if you're dehydrated, it may be a little tough to actually get the good feelings that you need when doing the scanning. So as a practitioner, make sure not only your client is hydrated before the session, but you want to make sure you're hydrated as well. Okay. Now, we're not gonna go too deep into preparation, but just like when you prep for any type of practitioner work, whether it's doing a reading, healing, even Reiki, you want to make sure your area is cleansed. Okay, so just some reminders. We can do that with what? Sage. We can sage the area. We can use some selenite. We take some selenite and wand the selenite around the area. Okay, we can use incense, and basically any type of cleansing, tools, even using a bell, okay, to bing and knock away any negative energies that are in the area. So once your area is prepared, then of course you want to make sure, again, yourself is prepared, starting with grounding, right? So at this time, let's go ahead and ground ourselves. So something that came to me yesterday in meditation was combining two symbols, right? Or at least a symbol and a command. So Raku is a lightning bolt symbol that I believe I've talked about in previous videos, but it's a lightning bolt symbol. It's a Shambhala, or I'm sorry, it's a Karuna Ki Reiki master symbol. And the lightning bolt represents, like, coming from above, has to have something that's grounded to the earth, right? Lightning has to strike something that's grounded to the earth, which is why trees and telephone poles, etc., gets hit, right? So this lightning bolt symbol, what you would do, you would draw the lightning bolt in front of you, and then you will pull the lightning bolt symbol into the body. Now, most of the time when I do the classes, you hear me talk about connecting to the Earth's vortex, right? The Earth's vortex. So now we're connecting to the Earth's vortex, but we're adding the Raku symbol to add additional intentions that this connection to the Earth's vortex is going to be for grounding. So Raku does grounding, and connected to the Earth vortex can do grounding as well. When you combine the two, it's an even more powerful grounding. So you can do this on yourself and your clients. So take a deep breath, command your higher self to connect to the Earth vortex, draw Raku, the lightning bolt, in front of you, pull Raku inside of you, allowing you to be grounded, the symbol and the earth's vortex. Ashe. So typically during grounding, we usually feel it just at the feet, the lower legs, but with the Raku, it actually helps you feel it even coming from the upper body, making its way down as well. And the Raku also helps brings you balance. So it has multiple purposes. Drawing Raku upward instead of down also helps you access the chakras. So we're talking about scanning today. So if you wanted to be able to access the chakras easier, you would draw Raku upward and push it into the body of the client. Or if you're trying to scan yourself, you will push it inside of yourself, okay? Now, also when it comes to scanning, we have to be cognizant of what we are wearing, which is it's good to take off any crystals and stones that you may be wearing, because sometimes the crystals can have so much energy that it can actually affect what you're feeling. It can interfere in what you're feeling. So before we get started on scanning, we're going to do that too. If you got on any crystal jewelry or any jewelry, you want to go ahead and remove it from your physical body so it does not interfere with your scanning. Okay, I'm going to take everything off. Now the crystals are still in your aura, so whatever work it's supposed to do on you is still going to work even if it's not on the personal body, okay? Okay, so now we have the jewelry off, okay? You want to take off any electronics that you may have that can interfere. Basically, you kind of want to just strip your body down of any extra articles that you don't actually need, okay? All right, so now we strip down. Now, again, I was talking about with water. Water helps energy channel through the body. So before you do your scan, you want to get you some water. I would recommend, but I'm not saying it's mandatory, but I would recommend some alkaline water, because alkaline water has a higher vibration to it. And you can tell if the water is alkaline because even if it's sitting at room temperature, the alkaline water typically is still cooler than just regular, bottled water. So take you a few sips. You don't have to drink a lot, okay? You just want to take some sips to get that water to kind of, make it into the spots of your body that needs to be hydrated, so that again, you can scan and feel the energy easier. So I'm going to take like you see, I drink a lot of water. Now, because we're drinking this water with the intentions of scanning, you're going to start to notice that when you drink this water, you're going to feel it actually starts going to different parts of your body really quickly, because your higher self is already knowing what you're getting ready to do. And it's going to move that water appropriately as needed. Okay. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do when we're talking about scanning and preparing yourself is removing any extra thoughts and, that might be in your head. Sometimes, whatever you were doing before you got ready to do the session, we don't want those extra thoughts to interfere and throw us off, because we want to be able to scan and be able to feel, but we also want to be able to use our clairvoyance at the same time as we're scanning. We also want to be able to hear spirit speak to us as we're scanning, and we don't want anything extra in the way when we try to do that. So command your higher self to remove any unnecessary and unneeded thoughts. Ashe. I command my higher self to release from me any unneeded and unnecessary thoughts. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. So also, before you get started, because we are empaths, we're healers. Sometimes there are spirits that like to roam the earth, that like to attach to us. So we can sometimes be a magnet because we're that light that a lot of these roaming spirits are looking for. So ask your divine support team to detach any spirits, souls that might be attached to you, and to cross them over into the light or wherever they need to go, wherever they belong, so that they don't interfere with your scanning as well. So again, we're just simply asking my divine support team, please detach any spirits, souls that have been roaming, that are attached to me. Please detach them and send them to the light or wherever they shall please. Please and thank you, Ashe. And then as you sit here, you should start to feel parts of your body where these attachments were as they come off. During this process, you want to be patient. Give your spirit, divine support team time to remove the souls and cross them safely. Okay, now, again, we're going to be feeling, right? So we want to make sure our own chakra system is straight, it's working, it's aligned. Because if we're out of balance and we try to scan someone else, we may pick up on our own imbalances thinking that it's actually the client. Now, at this time, for the time of for time's sake, I'm going to assist in this chakra balancing, this alignment. Okay, I'm going to use my staff, and I'm going to command for our chakra systems, our entire chakra system, to be unblocked, open, balanced, healed, and aligned. Ashe. So at this time, our entire chakra systems will start to realign and start to operate in the manner that it's supposed to. Just like you would instruct your client to do, you want to take deep breaths as this energies are shifting. Taking the deep breaths allows you to inhale the positive energy and exhale the negative. Okay, another thing that you want to keep in mind is where your own higher self and inner self is, right? Your inner self allows you to feel. So if your inner self is not with you, it's going to be hard for you to feel, for your client, or if you're scanning yourself. So you want to call your inner self to return to your physical body. You want to call your higher self to return to your physical body. Ashe? Okay, so hopefully by now, everyone should be feeling their higher self return. Your chakras may still be aligning a little bit still, but you should be feeling more centered at this time. And if you don't, when watching this replay, just, you can go ahead and pause it. And when you're ready, you can unpause and then continue with the class, okay? Okay, so 2 ways we're gonna scan. One, we're gonna scan with our hands, and then the other, we're gonna scan with our mind using our physical body, okay? So scanning the aura, okay, we're gonna scan our own aura first. You always wanna set intentions on the type of scan that you wanna do. There is a way that you can kind of do like a general scan and you'll just feel whatever, needs to be felt. But it's always good to go in with intentions in your scanning so that what needs to be highlighted can be highlighted at that time. So for example, when we start this scan, I want to set intentions that I want to use my hands to scan my aura and to highlight to me any parts of my aura that needs healing. Again, looking at the background, the gaps, the holes, like what part of my R needs healing. Okay. So when we scan, we want to scan from head to toe. And again, you want to be patient. You want to be slow, go slow with it. And sometimes do it more than once if you need to. So you take your hands. Now, before we do this part, let me say this just in case. Make sure your hands are clean before you start your scan. You want to make sure they are clean of residual energy. One of the easiest ways you can do that is, of course, washing them. And then another way is by shaking them, right, with the intention. So as I shake my hands, I'm shaking my hands with intentions of removing any residual energies that may be attached to my hands, right? Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Okay. So your R, of course, goes above the head. Okay. It goes above the head. So we want to start up. You want to take your hands and you want to leave them open. And you want to start over the head, because this is where the crown chakra sits, pointing upward. And again, my intentions are I'm going to scan my R for areas that needs healing. Allow my hands to feel the places that needs healing. And I just slowly scan from the top of my head, in front of my body. And where I feel any static energy, or strong tingling sensations, I know that's an area. So as I'm right here where I am now, I feel my left hand tingling and I feel a little bit of pressure on my left arm. So that's telling me, okay, that's a part of my aura that needs healing. And then when I look at my physical body, I'm at the heart chakra. I'm at the heart chakra. So there's a place in my heart chakra that may need some healing that's being affected in my aura. Okay. I continue to scan, just make a note. Okay, at my solar plexus, I'm feeling some strong tingling sensations on my left side, the solar plexus. Okay, in my left leg, I feel energy moving and I feel energy on my left hand. And so when you go down to the bottom, right, once you get to your waist, your legs, you can rotate your hand outward like that, and you can still feel the rest of your aura. Okay. Okay, so that's one way you can scan using your hands. Now, you can place your hands in different parts. Like, let's say you want to start here and scan, and then you want to do it again, but you want to scan your R from the outside, like from the sides. You can do that as well. Like, however you feel led to do it, just go with it. Like, just follow your intuition and what your higher self is guiding you and where to scan and how to scan it. Okay. Now, before we go on to the next part, I'm going to ask if you all would, if anyone would just share what you felt. Were you able to feel the scan as you were doing it? If you can share it with us at this moment. You can keep it short and sweet. Just want to know if it's working for you.
Yes, I
felt
was
it the
able
same
to.
place you did. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Cosmic, and then Cindy.
So I was just gonna say that I felt it like right by my solar plexus as I was going. My hands though, like I don't know if it was the intention we set, but yeah, they feel extra activated.
Yeah, definitely in the spots where you need it, where you felt it. Yeah, it almost felt like my hand was jumping a little bit, you know. Okay, thank you. Okay, Cindy.
Yeah, mine, I was feeling it in the heart chakra and the solar plexus also. Like I felt the tingling in my fingers and then a little bit in my legs.
Oh, okay, nice. So have you ever done scanning like this before?
I have not. This is all new to me.
Oh,
You're
good stuff.
teaching very well.
Good stuff. Ashe. So when we do scanning like this, you all, it works the same way. First of all, thank you all for sharing as well. But yeah, it works the same way when we also do it on our clients, right? So let's say you have someone laying on your massage table or your Reiki table in front of you, and you take your hands and you do the same thing. I normally will take my hand and I'll just kind of go up and down the R really slow. Usually I'll go up one leg with one hand, then I'll go up the other leg. So let's say I'm scanning the left leg, right? I might start at the feet and go up, and I might get to the knee. And let's say when I get to the knee, I feel that tingling sensation, that extra energy that Cosmic was speaking of, right? And I might ask the client, okay, is there anything going on with this knee? And usually they're going to say, yeah, I have a little pain here or pressure sometimes, because that extra energy you're feeling is letting you know there's some activity there, that something's out of balance, out of whack. And then I'll go up the other leg and do the same thing. And then it's same thing with the rest of the body. And then down the arms. And then sometimes I'll just, just keep doing it until you feel like you don't need to scan anymore. Okay, now, once you have scanned the aura, before starting any healing, we want to cleanse the aura, right? We want that aura to be cleansed so it can look like this, right? Starts off like this when we're scanning. We want it to end like this before we get deep into the body, okay? So a simple, easy way is to sweep the aura with intentions, okay? Again, with intentions, because that way, as we're sweeping the aura, we are removing anything that doesn't need to be there. So if I'm gonna sweep the aura, the first thing I wanna do is make sure my hands have whatever type of healing energy or whatever, maybe light energy or Reiki energy, so that you can use it to then sweep and cleanse the aura. So a simple way to do it using Reiki, okay? So even if you're not Reiki certified, we can just call it divine healing, right? Just divine healing. And what you want to do, and we're going to do this on ourselves, right? We're going to take our hands and we're going to place them right above us. And when you place your hand right above you, this is going to be the intentions that the Reiki energy or the divine healing energy will then fall upon your hands. Okay, the healing Reiki will fall upon your hands. You will start to feel maybe a cooling or a warming sensation depending on the person. Once you start to feel that energy in your hands, even making its way down your arms, you then want to turn your hands inward, and you want to take that energy, that healing energy, that Reiki energy, and you want to sweep your aura. So use that energy to remove any cords, remove any attachments or anything in the aura that's keeping it like this. It's keeping it open. And you can do it multiple times. Allow the divine healing to fall upon my hands and sweep my aura clean. Once you get down to the waist, the legs, you can turn your hands outward to sweep the energy away from you. Again, you can do it again. Sweeping the energy away from you. So even though we're doing it in the front, because of our intentions is to sweep the entire aura, this healing energy, this light energy, this Reiki energy will do the entire aura. The motion is more so symbolic. It's more so symbolic, but the energy will go exactly where it's needed in the aura, and it'll push, and you just push it away from you. So after you have pushed that energy through your aura to cleanse it, you can now go back and scan again. Okay. Scan again to see if those energies that you felt initially are still there. Okay, I still have a little bit of energy on the left side of my solar plexus, but I noticed when I went through my heart chakra, I didn't feel anything. I still feel a little bit of energy on the left leg, but it's not as much as it was initially. So at this point, I could pinpoint my sweep, right? So initially we were doing the whole body, but now I felt in the solar plexus and I felt on my left leg. I can take that healing energy now and I can sweep that part of my aura continuously until I no longer get those extra energies in that area. And then I want to scan this area again. And good, much better. So at this time, if anybody would share, were you able to feel your aura get cleansed? And when you did your second and third scans, were you able to feel a difference? You can go ahead and unmic at this time and share with us, please.
Yes. When I first started, I was very warm, but when I kept doing the sweeps and the scans, now all of a sudden it's cool. It's kind of cold around me.
That's amazing. You know, sometimes negative energy can be a little hot, a little warmer. And then that divine light energy, that love energy can be, you know, very cool, very cooling sensation. So your temperature changes is definitely a good sign that the energy around you has shifted. So Ashe, congratulations to you. You done cleansed your aura and you got yourself feeling lighter and cooler.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, anybody else? Okay, all right, so no one's ready, that's cool. All right, we're gonna keep on going. Now we're going to talk about scanning the physical body using our own higher self, our own commands, and just allowing us to feel within our body with intentions. So usually when I scan, right, if it's just, let's say it's a general scan, I'm not sure what the person needs or the person doesn't know what they need at this time, they just know something doesn't feel right. And this can even be with yourself because we're gonna scan ourselves, right? So maybe you're feeling some type of way and you're not sure why, like, or where it's coming from. So I'll say to my higher self, I wanna scan from head to toe, highlighting anything that needs my attention, like priority, that needs my attention immediately. And I set that intention, so when I feel the energy from head to toe, I know wherever I feel it stronger, that's my higher self telling me this area, that area, that area, that area, right? So what you want to do is you want to definitely make sure you are completely relaxed, like just relax your body. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. And then we want to ask our higher self, all right, higher self, scan me from head to toe, highlighting any priorities that needs my attention, Ashe. And then I start to feel the energy slowly making its way down my body. And whatever parts of me that needs my attention, the energy, the pressure, the discomfort will not go away. It will stay there the entire time. Okay, so for me, I feel a little bit of tension and some activity in my headspace, around the third eye, the back of the head. I feel a little bit on my left chest, which is also where I felt it during the initial scan. And then some energy now, a little bit of pain and pressure in my left groin area. I feel energy and pressure in my right leg from the knee down. And a little bit of pressure at the top of my head. Okay, so let's talk about what we feel and where we feel it and why. So a lot of times when we feel what we feel, it's connected to the chakras. So if I feel energy from my feet, when I start the feet deals with the root chakra, deals with stability, right? So if the feet has energy in it, it can tell me a few things. It can say there's some issues in my stability. It can say that maybe there's something in my foundation from childhood. When it gets to my ankles, it can deal with support. When I feel it in the shins, in the legs between the knees and the ankles, a lot of times for me, it represents money. Again, this is all part of the root chakra. When we feel it in the knees, it can represent lack of support. If you think about how the knees support the legs, the knees can represent support or lack of support. When we get to the thighs above the knees, that can represent issues with family. And going back to the legs, to the lower legs, the left side of the body is going to be feminine, or the mother side. The right side is going to be masculine, or the father side. So still in the root chakra, depending on which side you feel it on, this is when your other clairs also come into play. Let's say you feel your left knee, which is the mother side of the family, and in your mind, you hear the word, you felt like your mother didn't support you. So that energy in the left knee, along with your clairaudience, is saying that the connection with your left knee deals with feeling of lack of support from the mother side of the family, whether it's the mother or the mother's side. Let's say if you on your right leg, between the knee and the ankles, where the shins are, and it's dealing with money, and it's just on that side, that could tell you that there could be a generational curse on your father's side of the family associated with money. Because it's the right side, area of money, generational curse from the right side of the family, from the father's side of the family, associated with money. If you feel like your ankles are a lot of pressure on the ankles, it could be a feeling of feeling imprisoned. Like if you think of shackles being placed on the ankles. So when I feel both ankles with shackles, it can feel like somebody's trying to hold you back, hold you down, keep you from moving forward. If it's on one ankle, it's on the left side, then it could be something associated with the mother side of the family, like the generational curse on that mother side that's keeping that family from moving forward. If it's on the right side, the right ankle, then it would be from the father side. Usually when it's on both sides though, it doesn't represent the side of the family, it represents someone that you actually might be dealing with, or it can represent you, like as in you're holding your own self back, you have yourself shackled. Okay, so going back up now, starting at the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, of course, deals with sexuality, sensuality, stable emotions, creativity. So if I feel pressure, I also feel pressure into center of the sacral. This is below the belly button, down to the privates, right? If I'm to feel pressure in the center, that's usually going to say that there's something negative attached to the womb or the prostate, which is like the male version of a womb. So when there's emotional trauma, usually it's going to be held there, right in the center of the sacrum. When there's a negative sexual attachment, meaning like a person you've had intercourse in the past, develop a sex tie or sex bind, and that energy between you and that person is not serving the highest good of your womb space or prostate space. This also can represent, this pressure in the center, can represent a curse that has been placed on the womb. And if the energy goes down one side of the legs, then it's also telling you what side of the family it may be coming from if it's generational. So if I'm to feel in the center of my sacral a pressure, and then along with that, I start to feel energy going down my left leg, that is my body telling me that there's a curse in your womb coming from the mother side of the family. If it goes down the right leg, it's coming from the right father side of the family. Okay. If it's emotional trauma, it could be also coming from one side or the other side. There's a thing called inherited feelings, inherited emotions, inherited karma, inherited trauma passed down through our parents. So if there's trauma in the womb space of the prostate, and then again, energy going down the left leg, other clairs have to come in to help us with this to say what it is. So we know it's something coming from the womb, coming from the mother side. Now, what is it? And then this is when we allow our inner voice to tell us exactly what it is. It's emotional trauma that your mother had. It's your mother had when you were born, and that emotional trauma passed down to you. Okay. Let's also look at the sacral chakra, going back to the sacral. Let's say there's some pressure in the sacral chakra, and we're like, where's that coming from? And then we start to feel pressure in our third eye along with it. The sacral and the third eye works together for creativity. So when the sacral has pressure along with the third eye, this could be a creative block. This could be a creative block, okay? So then now we can speak that blockage out because we know that's what it is. So again, when there's pressure in the sacral combined with the third eye, that is letting you know there's a blockage in your creativity. Now, another pressure we could feel that it could be there, especially if it's also in the lower back, could be a blockage in the sacral. This could mean that your sexual energies are not being activated. You know, when it comes to sexual energies, we have to remember that we don't have to pervert that energy. That sexual energy is also used for creativity, is also used for manifestation. So we have to let our sacral energy, our sexual energy flow freely. So when we are stopped up, backed up, it's been a while, right? Those energies can get stuck and it can cause issues in your physical body as well. So what can you do with that? Well, you can, of course, do self-pleasure to get those energies flowing. You can have intercourse to get those energies flowing, or you can take that sexual energy and you can redirect it up to your third eye to assist you with creativity. Okay, but you have to get that energy moving to keep the sacral from being blocked or from being blocked. So that also means you have to be careful who you allow to attach to your sacral, because if their energy isn't good, then it can contaminate your womb space or your prostate area, your sacral, and then that can cause everything to be out of whack as well. So keep that in mind too. Okay, let's go up to the solar plexus. So let's say there's some issues in the solar plexus, which is where the belly button is, the upper stomach. Okay, issues associated with anger can be there. And sometimes it could be anger that you're having towards someone else, or it could be anger that someone has towards you. This is also where a lot of jealousy and envy energy goes. A lot of hate energy goes here as well. So if you notice that after doing something good for yourself, and maybe you made a post on Facebook or something and you wanted to celebrate, and all of a sudden the next day you notice your stomach is a little bloated, and you're having constipation, a little bit of diarrhea here and there, and it's like kind of back and forth. This can let you know that, okay, somebody may be sending some negative energy towards me. They may be having some jealousy or envy based on my success, right? So jealousy and envy energy a lot of times will cause bloating sensations in the solar plexus. Now, again, this is also where confidence, and self-esteem. So if a person has trouble with self-esteem, you're most likely going to feel something in the stomach as well. Now, if your client says they feel drained, and when you do your scan, you feel that pressure, you feel something in the solar plexus, this could mean either a person is draining them, or the person is draining them, or an entity is draining them, like an incubus or succubus type of entity. They usually will attach to the solar plexus because this is where your personal power is. So if someone was dealing with someone narcissistic, right? The person who's narcissistic will be attached to their solar plexus to basically suppress their personal power and even siphon that energy. If it's an entity, like you feel a presence around you, especially during like sleep paralysis, or maybe right before you go to bed, and you're always feeling drained, the entity could be attached to the solar plexus. Some of the symptoms with that would be like headaches and, nausea, feeling tired for a few days, then energized and tired again. And so that's because the entity is literally pulling out your life force energy, your personal power, and leaving you drained. Now, the solar plexus, when it comes to psychic attacks, this is when someone is using their thoughts to wish bad upon you, or using their mouth to speak bad upon you, right? The solar plexus and the third eye combined, pressure in the solar plexus and the third eye, lets you know that someone is trying to attack you in some kind of way. With the psychic attack, curse, spell, hex, someone's trying to attack. You'll feel it both in the solar plexus and the third eye. Solar plexus suppresses it'll suppress your personal power, your strength, and then the third eye suppresses your vision. So then the person, you have a hard time being able to think. So again, solar plexus and third eye, pressure in the solar plexus and third eye combined, usually a sign of a psychic attack. One of the ways you can heal from that is simply commanding the psychic attacks back to its original source. Or you can do Reiki, self-healing, where you simply take one hand on the solar plexus, one hand on the third eye, and you keep it there until your higher self says you're good, or until you feel the energy of the psychic attacks being released. This is a very simple way to heal yourself from psychic attacks. Okay, the heart chakra. This is the balance between everything, right? This part forgive me, I'm releasing energy while I'm doing this. Okay, so in the heart chakra, it talks about those that are close to you. And it starts in the center and it goes all the way down to the hands. So the closer to the center of the heart chakra, the closer the person is to you. For example, if I felt pain in the chest, If I feel it in the center, in the dead center, this could be, okay, there's like a hole in my heart, as in heartbrokenness. You know, usually somebody who's had their heart broken, they're going to feel it directly in the center. And then you may feel the energy shift to either the left or the right, saying if it's a woman, it'll shift to the left, the feminine side, or if it's heartbroken from a male, it'll shift to the right side. So sometimes in your scan, you'll feel it in one place first, and then it'll shift to show you where else it's associated with. So maybe let's say I feel it in the chest, and then it shifts to the right. And then that's all it, and it doesn't go anywhere else. Okay, this might be a boyfriend, this might be a family member, somebody close. This may be somebody close, right? Now, if it shifts to the right, and then I feel it down my leg, then I'm going to say, okay, this is coming from father, because it's coming from the masculine side, down the right leg from the father. So that's how you can connect the dots there. It could also be in the sacral chakra. Let's say it's in the chest, it goes to the left, and then it goes to the left side of the sacral chakra. This could be someone that you were intimate with, that you have a sexual connection with, and they broke your heart. Now, if you have pressure in the heart chakra and the solar plexus together, this usually is a sign that that's this person haven't had an altercation recently. Because what happens is when people argue, right? When both sides are arguing, they're saying nasty words to each other. From that person's heart chakra to their solar plexus, and from the other person's heart chakra to the other person's solar plexus, that negative energy crosses to both person's solar plexus. And so then you have that pressure here and in the solar plexus as well. So when I feel them together there, that lets me know that this person has probably had a recent altercation. Now, how close this person is to you or your client, the closer they are, again, it's going to be in the center of the chest. And the more, not so connected, or where they are in your life, the further you go down the arms, the less this person is connected. So like if it's in the center close, it's probably going to be like parents, significant others, brothers and sisters. And by the time you get to the shoulders, you're dealing with like close friends, like people that you are very cool with. And then when you get to the arms, it becomes like associates, right? And by the time you get to the hands, it's like people that you probably don't even know, but they feel some type of way, towards you. So when you're scanning, that's how you can kind of guess how close the person is to you or the client that you're scanning. And again, using your clairvoyance or your clairaudience. Your clairaudience will tell you who it might be. So I might say, okay, I feel it, center chest to the left, and I'm hearing the word mother, because now I'm also feeling it down the left leg, you see? So you got to use all your spiritual gifts combined in doing this. Okay. In the throat chakra, I'm scanning the throat chakra. Typically, the issues are going to be either in the center or the left and right side of the thyroid. So let's say you have someone with thyroid issues. It's usually going to be associated with words that haven't been spoken, that are stuck in the throat. So when people say the word stuck in my throat, that really is a real thing, right? I mean, the energy of the words have not been released. So let's say I feel energy in the center of the throat, where the voice box is, and then I feel pressure in the sacral. And then I feel, pressure down the right side of my leg. That can tell me that this person may have been sexually assaulted from someone on her father's side of the family. Or it could be the father itself, or vice versa, it could be the mother or the mother's side of the family. So this person been assaulted, so I feel it down in the sacral, one of the sides of the family. Or if I don't feel it on either leg, then this person wasn't family. This person was just something that, or someone else. If I feel it down both legs, this could tell me that this is from childhood, from the mother, from one side of the family or both, or just someone from their childhood. So the pressure in the throat can say the person wasn't able to speak their truth about what happened to them. They had to hold it in. Or maybe they didn't get to tell their abuser how they really felt. So those words, the energy of those words are stuck. And you can also pick up on this when scanning, even at the sacral. Maybe you get to the sacral chakra and you feel that pressure, and then you feel the throat. That's the same thing, right? We're just looking at it from a different scan, but it's the same thing. We're picking up on there's something that happened in the womb, and you weren't able to speak about it. So this is a good time for your client to be able to speak out what happened to them, so that the energy of those words can be released from the throat chakra to clear it. Okay, going up to the third eye chakra. Oh, no, let me go back down. Let's go back to the throat. So same thing with the words, but sometimes it may be on the feminine side or the masculine side. So if it's a woman that you weren't able to speak your truth to, then you may feel pressure and pain on the left thyroid, or sometimes even the left, the lymph node that's on that side as well, sometimes can do the same thing. What's happening is that those negative energies from those words that's not being spoken is starting to deteriorate the part of the body that is sitting in. So if there's words unsaid, it starts to mess with the throat. It starts to mess with the throat chakra. It starts to mess with the voice box and the thyroid and the lymph nodes and all kind of whatever's in this area, right? Same thing on the right side, because on the right, it's a man, it's a masculine figure that you're having trouble speaking your truth to. Okay. Now, if you feel it in the back of the neck, this could be someone trying to prevent you from speaking intentionally, meaning they are either speaking or they're doing a spell or they're doing something to keep you from wanting to speak. And usually it's going to hit the back of the neck and you're going to feel it all the way through the front, where the entire neck feels maybe stiff and you just can't get that pressure to go away. This can be associated also with like hyper or hypothyroidism, where it can cause weight gain and weight loss, issues with balancing the hormones. It can cause a whole lot of issues when it comes to that throat chakra being blocked that way. We go to the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra deals with most of the face. The mouth will be with the throat chakra, of course, because it deals with speaking. But the nose and up will deal with the third eye chakra, to include the ears. So when there is issues, we're going to start with the eyes. When there's issues with the left eye represents your divine feminine. Divine feminine. Everybody, regardless of gender, carries divine masculine and divine feminine energies. The left eye represents your divine masculine and feminine energies. Oh, I'm sorry, the left eye is feminine. So there's times you may feel pressure in the left eye. You might feel like the left eye, it jumps, right? When it's jumping, it's trying to activate. It's telling you it's trying to activate your divine feminine. When there's pain, there could be telling you that someone's divine feminine is being suppressed. Now, the importance of knowing about what happens in the eye is that if the divine feminine energy is suppressed, that blocks your psychic abilities, which the third eye is already about psychic abilities anyway. It also can mess with your sexuality and sensuality. It can mess with your overall magic, because that's what the divine feminine is. It deals with your magic, your nurturing, again, sex, sensuality, magic, just being able to be psychic. And like I say, men and women both have these energies. So when we tap into them, we can, men and women alike can can use these energies for the highest good or the highest good of their divine purpose. Now, when we talk about the right eye deals with the divine masculine, And the divine masculine deals with protection, deals with abundance or money, prosperity, right? Money, finances. The divine masculine also deals with language, how we speak. The divine masculine also deals with luck and good fortune. Okay. So let's say you have, let's say you're a woman, identified woman, and you may have trouble speaking in a clear way, a way that people can understand you. You may have a weakened divine masculine, right? You may have a wounded masculine. So your divine masculine is when you operate from a divine higher self, right? When your divine feminine or masculine is wounded, then it operates from a more, I'm going to use this word toxic, but it's more toxic because you're operating at that point out of ego, out of hurt, out of shame, out of guilt, etc. Okay, when it comes to the nostrils, it's going to be very, very important for people who have worked on people or yourself dealing with like sinus issues, allergies. Okay, so from the root chakra to the nostrils is what we call nadis. Nadis, N-A-D-A-S. The left side, of course, deals with the moon and the feminine. The right side deals with the sun and the masculine. So when the nadis are affected, it can actually present issues in the nostrils on which nadi is affected. So if it's the divine feminine side that's affected, you can have a blockage here. It's the divine masculine, it's going to be on the right. So when a person complains about it's just my left side that gives me trouble in my nostrils, you want to do healing on the nadis. Now, when we get into the healing and we talk about the chakras and meridian channels, and we're going to talk about the nadis in that, I think that's going to be, I want to say it's going to be part number 3. Okay, we'll get into that on how to cleanse and clear those channels and you know, so that those issues in the nose go away. So I notice now when I have those issues, I heal that nadi, and then all of a sudden I can breathe on that side again. Okay, same thing with ears. Ears deals with your clairaudience. And of course it deals with spirit being able to speak to you. And of course the physical as well. So when there's pressure in the left ear, there's obviously there's a blockage in your psychic abilities when it comes to being able to receive from spirit, because you should be able to hear. And then on the right side would be a blockage from spirit coming from your masculine side, meaning that you may not be able to receive the masculine knowledge that you need because that side of the ear is blocked. Okay, it can be pressure, it can be just feeling like you can't hear that good in that side all of a sudden. But that lets us know that there's a blockage in receiving from spirit as far as being able to hear. Okay, we're gonna go to the back of the head. There's the back of the head chakra. Okay, this is where the subconscious sits. And this is also where depression energy typically sits too, is in the subconscious. So when scanning, when you feel pressure in the back of the head, it's usually saying that either there's negative attachments to the subconscious or this person is dealing with depression. Now, just like other parts of the body that can come into play, if I feel pressure in the back of the head and then feel it down my left leg, this can tell me that this person can have inherited depression through the mother, meaning that the mother probably was depressed, and when the mother had them, that inherited depression passed on to the child because it's going down the left leg. If it doesn't go down any leg, then it may just be something that that individual is dealing with within their own life that just needs to be addressed, okay? And when we get into the healing part and the cleansing part, we're going to talk about how to cleanse, those energies out as well, to include cleansing the subconscious. Okay. When we scan up to the forehead, which is where the third eye usually sits between the eyebrows, but right above the third eye, is going to be the top of the head chakra. Even though this is the top of the head, it's called the top of the head chakra, right? And it sits right above the third eye chakra. It's a smaller chakra, and it deals with anger and frustration. It deals with anger and frustration. So when a person holds a lot of anger and frustration, it puts pressure on the frontal lobe of the brain, because this is where the frontal lobe of the brain sits. So it puts pressure on that frontal lobe, and because the frontal lobe deals with emotions, it can throw your sacral out of whack as well, because the sacral chakra also is where balanced emotions are supposed to be too. So when you feel that energy here, you know that this person or yourself is holding some anger and frustration that needs to be released. Now, when it comes to how long, usually I feel it by how deep the energy goes. So if I feel that energy here, and then I start to feel it deeper going back into the brain, okay, this is energy that's been there for a long time because it goes deep, right? If it's on the surface, this is probably something this person just got angry about. It's something that it can be addressed right away. Hey, let's get this taken care of before it gets, deep. And then once that anger and frustration is released, usually a person's visions get better because that part of the brain is now more relaxed, and other parts of the body can start to be more normal. Okay, when scanning, when you feel the top of the head, especially in the center, okay, if it's on just the top of the head, that usually tells me, okay, this person is probably overthinking, because the crown chakra faces upward, just like this, right? And it spins clockwise. And when a person is overthinking, that crown chakra is moving really fast. So usually I know, okay, I'm gonna have to maybe slow this crown chakra down a little bit so that it spins at a more normal pace that's best for them, versus it spinning out of control. Just causes overthinking, and then a person have trouble sleeping because the crown chakra is not slowing down. Now, if I feel the pressure on top of the head and it goes deeper, like it's going down deeper into the middle of the brain, this tells me that this person may be dealing with stress. So stress energy, I usually feel it right at the top of the head going down into the center of the head. Okay. Now, when it deals with like anxiety, there's two places you can feel anxiety. It could be on the sides of the head and also in the heart chakra in the chest. And the same thing with stress. You can feel stress both at the top of the head and also on the heart chakra. Now, when we think about stress and anxiety being in the chest, we talk about, stress can cause heart attacks, right? It can also cause strokes. So if you think about it, the stress energies in the chest, it's going to negatively affect the heart and the lungs, which can cause a heart attack. That energy is there. If it's in the head, it's going to mess with the brain, which it could cause a stroke, right? So you have to explain to your client the importance of why that energy has to be released. So if their stress is coming from overthinking, then you're going to most likely feel the stress on the top of the head. If it's coming from anything else, you're most likely going to feel it in the chest. Okay, now, this is where, again, you being connected with your higher self is going to be very important, because you're going to run into situations where you may not be sure where a certain emotion or feeling or energy is sitting. So you have to test yourself. You have to practice, right? So that means, like, when I'm laying down before bed, especially when I first started doing this work, I would lay down and I would ask my higher self, if someone's feeling, this specific emotion, where would I feel it? Where would it be? Then I'll allow my body to feel where it is. Then I'll take a note. Okay, so now I know if I feel this particular feeling or emotion, it's going to be felt in this area. You see? So practice going through different feelings and different emotions and allowing yourself to feel in the physical body where it would sit. So if a person, for example, had issues in the sacral chakra, but they feel like something is going on with their kidneys, kidneys are much higher than the sacral chakra, but the kidneys are part of the sacral chakra. So you need to know, even when it comes to the organs, what could be affected by each chakra or feelings or emotions. So again, just think of an emotion that we haven't spoke of. Sadness, okay? So I asked my higher self, if I'm gonna feel sadness, where would I feel it in my body if someone is dealing with sadness? Okay, so I feel it in the heart, in the head. And then I feel it down my right leg, which can be telling me what side of the family my sadness is coming from, whether it's inherited or who I'm sad about. Maybe I'm sad about my father. And then as the energy shift over to the right side of my chest and my left leg, then yeah, that's could be telling me I have sadness dealing with my father, right? If I didn't feel anything down the leg, then it could just be a close friend of mine, you know, or a brother, you see? Another time I usually feel sadness in someone is sometimes I'll notice I'll get water behind one of my eyes or both. So sometimes even your own physical body as an empath will feel the sadness energy and you'll tear up, right? That's just a sign letting you know this person is holding sadness. Okay, what if a person is holding, let's go do another emotion. Hostility. Hostility. So if a person was feeling hostility, or I'm feeling hostility, where would I feel that in my body? Okay, I feel it around my head, around my lower legs, my solar plexus. And the thing is that you have to pay attention that the feeling may not be the same as another feeling. So when I feel my solar plexus that deals with maybe jealousy or envy, it might feel a little different than when I feel it when dealing with hostility. Like anger and hostility might kind of feel the same, and jealousy and envy may feel just a little bit different or a little bit lighter. So you have to also pay attention to the amount of pressure or the type of energy you feel. So when I feel hostility, I almost feel like a acid type of feeling, almost like a burning sensation, right? Because that energy is so negative. So if it's like a burning sensation, I know, okay, this is like some hostile energy right here. This is some hate energy, see? So what you want to do again, you want to always practice on feeling different emotions, where you feel it and how you feel it, so that when you feel it on someone else, you can identify exactly what it is. You can start to put the dots together, put the pieces together. Okay. Okay. So that's going to be it for tonight as far as scanning goes. I do want to leave you all with a tip to prepare for scanning, especially before you go to bed or when you get ready to do your practice, is to do the empath cleanse, where you put the crystal, one in each hand, and you allow the crystals to cleanse your body, right? So that they can prepare you to be able to feel. Or you can even do selenite, where connecting yourself to the selenite vortex or commanding the selenite energy channels through your physical body so that it can then remove those blockages. So it'll be easier for you to, again, feel the energies, okay? And you want to practice this as much as you can. If this is your profession, if this is your passion, this is your divine purpose, you want to make sure you practice, because you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for yourself and for the others that you come in contact with that you're supposed to help. Okay, so this is going to conclude the class. Peace and blessings to you all, and I will see you next time. Ashe.